Hey there, Michael Church with Crawl Space Ninja. Did you know that many home improvement contractors are trying to price match their competition? Is that a good idea? Stay tuned. Okay, this is a little bit of a video about price matching, but before I get into that, I want to talk to you about other people's work. So I'm going to go through and show you a few jobs that we have been called out to take a look at because our competition may not have done it properly, even though they were paid to do so. So this is a job that we looked at. They put in a dehumidifier and this clear reinforced vapor barrier. You can see all of this done. Now, one thing about this dehumidifier was they didn't maintenance it. So the humidity is super high and there's mold growing in the crawl space because you can see it's clogged. So it wasn't maintenance. They didn't offer any kind of maintenance program. So when you hook up with somebody that doesn't have a maintenance program offered, you could be getting into some trouble if the mechanical devices start to fail and all that. They also put in some post jacks and some different things like that. But, you know, take a look at this piece of foam board right here. Now, you know, that's not really how we do it. The other thing that I find interesting is that the plastic, this was done by a pest control company, and there is no termite gap. And they used an adhesive to apply the plastic to the wall without a termite gap. I guess they thought that since you could see through the plastic that overrides the termite gap, but I don't read anywhere in building code where it says you cannot use a termite gap if you use clear plastic. So I'm not sure where they get that they didn't have to leave a termite gap. The other thing is the foam board, you know, I don't know if they just shoved it down in the plastic and that's kind of how it sit, but it obviously isn't air sealed in any way. They didn't air seal it at all. So the air from the outside is just coming in. So anyway, these are some of the things that people expect us to price match. And how do you price match something like that? I mean, it's a little difficult to do, and we're not gonna anyway. So here's another one that I want to show you right here. So this is actually a crawl space that we did, we redid. All right, so this is an interesting one. So why don't you take a look at what we did here? One of the things is they put the trench above the ground level. So this part of the trench is actually above ground level. So, and then that part's below. I'm not sure how the water's going to make it from there to here. It wasn't, anyway. So also the pipe itself doesn't have a sock around it. I don't know if you can see that. So since there's no sock around this pipe, all kinds of debris and different things can get into it and eventually clog, but it's also above ground, so it's not going to move a lot of water. Not overlapped and taped seams, so all of the humidity is coming out of the dirt, and your vapor barrier has started to, the adhesives is giving away already. I don't know how old this system is, but eventually this is all going to peel off all the walls. Adhesives don't really last that long. Plus, like I said, you got that, and then this part over here, it was again not taped. It's just kind of sitting on there. Okay, so if you've seen those videos on YouTube from before, that job cost the homeowner $25,000. $25,000. And we came in and had to fix everything. We took out all the insulation, soda blasted. But this is some pictures of that job just to give you an idea, a closer perspective of exactly how bad that job was done. I mean, it is ridiculous that they spent 25 grand. And again, it's the same pest control company that did this work. Same MO, everything's the same. Well, that's interesting. Look, they left the termite gap on that one. Why did they leave it on that one but not the other one, huh? I don't know. I don't know. Apparently somebody felt that they needed a termite gap on this one but not the other one that we looked at. Now here's a great sump pump install. Not really. I mean, this sump pump install is not very good. But anyway, so this is what you get. So if you want me to price match this kind of quality, I honestly, I don't know how to do that. It's very difficult. Now this is another one that we just took a look at yesterday. Was done by a very reputable company. And first of all, the sump pump, if you can see the sump pump there in the gravel, it's not installed in the lowest part of the crawl space. So the water is actually not running to it. Okay, and then, you know, how can water in a crawl space run to the sump pump if the sump pump's not installed in the lowest part? Now, if you're doing a basement, it's all the same level, so it doesn't matter. They just put it, you know, along. So if we're doing basement waterproofing now, for example, and we're using the HydroWaste system, which is the best basement waterproofing system that we have found, which is why we're using it. But the point is that in a basement, everything's level, or supposed to be, so it doesn't matter. But in a crawl space, it does matter where you put the sump pump. So they obviously, you know, spent a lot of money to put the sump pump in the wrong spot. And this plastic was done by the same company. Look at that. Did you see that? Let's go back to that. Look at that plastic. What is that? I don't even know. So anyway, I'm supposed to price match that. I mean, if you're looking for me to price match that sort of thing, it's very difficult to do. Okay, so all right, now here's another one. Again, very reputable company, uses this high dollar radiant barrier foam board. And you know, one of the things about attaching plastic to foam board is that it doesn't stick when you tape it. You still need to mechanically attach it. So anyway, here's a couple of pictures of the plastic coming off the foam board because the tape is given out. So, you know, I mean, I'm not sure why you would use radiant barrier foam board in a crawl space anyway, but I don't think this is termite resistant, but again, what do you see? No termite gap, none. So if it's not a termite resistant foam board, it doesn't have a termite gap. And look at how the plastic is at an angle. What is that? That is horrible. Plus it's a reinforced vapor barrier, which we won't get into that cat pee potential there. But anyway, so again, price matching this quality is difficult for us to do. So, all right, now this is my favorite. This one you got to watch. This is amazing. So this is Donald taking a look at a crawl space in, I believe, up in Johnson City, Tennessee. And look, this is done. This is completed. The white felt plastic, the black, they just left everything down there. It didn't wrap anything. But watch this. Watch what happens when Donald turns out the light. This is amazing. Okay, so apparently they focused more on the disco ball effect of the crawl space than they did on the actual work of the crawl space. Look at that. That is absolutely horrible. Look at those pillars. None of them are wrapped, but I think one. Look at that debris right there. Oh, there's that rat pillar. Look at that debris and all that stuff that they left behind. I mean, this is just absolutely hideous. And these people paid their good, hard-earned money to get that done. Same crawl space. Look at this. This is an up-close of the picture of the pillar that was wrapped. There's some of the other. There's the blue lighting shining on the HVAC duct. Another pillar. Just, I don't think it's cut. It looks ripped. And then some more. Look at all that debris that they left behind and didn't tape the plastic, didn't overlap it and tape it properly. So I guess what I'm trying to say is if we price match something, if we are asked to price match a job, we can't do it. We can't. We hire really good people. All right. Our people are fantastic. It's hard work and we pay them pretty well and we have work comp and insurance and all that other stuff. I'm not going to try to justify the cost of doing business, but the point is that if, you know, I know some contractors that hire work release folks to come to your house and do the work. Okay. So we don't hire work release folks to come to your house and do the work. But let me share with you. I'll close with this. Let me share this one last thing with you that I feel is relevant. Okay. So take a look at this review. All right, so Crawl Space Ninjas did a great job for us. They removed all the insulation below the floor in the crawl space. Then they soda blasted off all the mold. Then they treated all of the flooring and timbers with mold disinfectant to inhibit any future growth. Now we also applied a protectant to give it a 10-year mold warranty, okay? Then they trenched the perimeter and installed another sump pump to carry away any water along the foundation. They laid in an excellent ground vapor barrier. They installed a large volume, heavy-duty April-air dehumidifier, which is keeping the crawl space between 50 and 58%, even during a week of torrential rains in Knoxville. Very pleased with their work. Had a couple of hiccups along the way, which Michael, the owner of the company, rectified and took care of for us. This is a sign of a great company and great management. They aim to please and do great work. Now that is a great point, because I don't want you to think that we are perfect, because we obviously are not perfect. But if you want a company that's going to be around whenever something happens, like the dehu messes up, and I mean, some of these companies, that the reason why we got called out, they're not even around anymore, because they were price matching. They were the lowest bidder. Okay, so I'm not trying to say we're gouging, but we charge just enough so that we'll be here 15, 20, 30, 40 years from now, because we can't make money if we're dropping our price $100 cheaper than our competitor, and then they drop their price $100 cheaper. Next thing you know, both of us are out of business. It's not good business to price match. So please, please don't make a huge mistake by hiring somebody based solely on price. You need to hire somebody based on quality so that you have a worry-free crawl space for years to come. Also, don't choose the minimum. Okay, we have packages installed. That way we are taking care of every aspect of the crawl space, from insulation to standing water to vapor barrier to humidity to mold to protecting the mold to ventilating, to every aspect, every part of the crawl space, so that you and your family have a worry-free crawl space for years to come. I am Michael Church with Crawl Space Ninja, and I hope you make it a happy and blessed day, and we'll see you later. Thanks for letting me rant about this stuff, because it really bothers me that people are ripping these people off and not coming back and fixing it. Make it a blessed day. We'll see you later.